Today I wanted to ask yourself this question. What does it mean to be conscious? Have a higher consciousness? To be aware of our surroundings and what things can impact our lives? I think that's a question we should ask ourselves more than ever in today's society. I want to get a little personal here and talk about something that I mentioned in one of my early videos. One of my terrible habits I used to have, and that was to sleep around with many women. Not be able to control man's second biggest drive, the reproductive energy, sexual energy, to control it, and to always chase short-term relationships, short-term dopamine pleasures. Something that I really think is so sad today to see is that many men fall for this lie. I did it. Many years ago I got into something called Red Pill, and that is like a sphere of men where we give advice regarding the dating world and everything around that. They told me that, and so many other people, that to be a real high-value man, to be an alpha male, you should treat women with like crap, disrespect them, you should sleep around with them, don't really care about how they feel. You should have many women around you and have a lot of women in rotation to your disposal. That was the idea, and in the beginning I thought it was a good idea. I thought it was very exciting and sounds cool. Yeah, that's how a man should be. That's what we should look up to. But the later on the deeper you went into this trap and this illusion is that you, some way you thought you will be satisfied and that you will not be, it will have some sort of an ending. You will never be satisfied and the end doesn't exist because you will always want to try the next new thing. That's so dangerous, and I've also fell for this, that men doesn't get scarred for life if they like sleep around with many women. They are living a promiscuous life. It doesn't affect them like they do with women. But what really happens in our life is that we will be so hurt emotionally and mentally that we have no idea about it until it happens. And that happens for me because I really started to ask myself this question, like, how could I ever just stick with one woman after I've lived like this? It's not gonna happen. So what I have to do, I would have to really do a lot of shadow work, really go into myself, introspect, take a good look at myself to see where I am now, and realize that I was absolutely not happy. I was disgusted by the man I saw, who wasn't even a man. He was just a little boy who couldn't control his biggest drive. And that is so sad to see, that so many people are lying to young men nowadays. And also the lie that it doesn't matter if you ejaculate or just lose your semen. It's just renew itself. It just produces more. And what you don't understand is that the cost is that you're losing your vital energy, your precious life force that supplies every cell in your body with nutrients. Makes a man, because every time you ejaculate you lose a little part of yourself. And I didn't understand that. So what I've said with this is that if I were to be conscious about these things, I would not fall for this and I would not have been doing this. But because I was unaware of this, it hasn't not yet reached my higher, what we say, brain capacity to understand it. I just kept on going. Sometimes it doesn't really matter also if we just tell people it, because they have to be ready to hear it. They have to be ready to take in the information and really consider it. So that's why also we have to repeat it and hear it so many times. Some people have to go through these things. I'm sure that I had to go through it in order to get where I am today. Because like I said before, we live in a world of dualities. We always have to see it in a sense that in order to come to the great light side, the beauty, the bright side, we have to visit the dark side as well. I believe that when we have a higher consciousness, that means that we're starting really to think for ourselves that we didn't do before. We are definitely more aware of the risks that we are partaking in from our daily lives, from all the foods that we're eating, what harm they're causing to our body, things we do that can impact other people's lives. What it means is that we are letting go of the ego in a more favorable way of realizing our higher self, our bigger and greater potential. And that we are, like I said before, much more than just this physical body. This is just a vehicle that I've been to be on this physical plane. My soul is a completely different thing. It doesn't mean that I would just let go of my body, of the vehicle. I want to treat it well. I want to treat it with respect. I want it to be the best that it can be. I want it also to live up to great potential. So being aware of certain things is to, we're starting to look inwards more, introspect. I think once you got to this place, you will notice that the materialistic world and the things that are of a physical existence becomes a lot more disinteresting. It doesn't fulfill me at all anymore. I used to love cars very much and motorcycles, and I'm still have it as a interest and a hobby, but not to the same degree like it used to be. It doesn't really ravel my emotions anymore in the same way. I'm much more interested in these things now, and really going to pleasing the spirit in another way. And also I think when we get more conscious about things, we start to want to become better. We starting to caring more for other people and become more lovable and taking care of each other, viewing ourselves as not just physical entities. Because when I was in my very bad situation, a bad place in my life, I remember I viewed every woman as an object. Yeah, you can you can hate me, but that's what it was, the reality. I'm just being honest, like how it was, how I used to be. After starting this, it kind of happened pretty quickly, like just a couple of months. You started to view them more as human beings that have flaws, and they have very good qualities as well. And people aren't that special. We tend to put many people on pedestals, but at the end of the day, they're just like you and me, look different. We just operate different here. We're pretty similar in. Yeah, and I also think that you become less judging. You don't judge people the same way. You can see that, because I like to see that every people that we meet, we can never judge them right away because we never know what they went through, what their stories. The only story we can know is like people we know, and we follow people on social media that tell them how their story is, but most people we never heard of what they've been through and what they're going through. I heard one guy said to me some time ago, he said that as long as you're aware of your own demons, that's a good thing, because a lot of people out there, they are dealing with demons that you can't comprehend on a daily basis. Be glad that you're aware of them. Know that they are there, but you can at least handle them. I also think when we reach a higher consciousness, we cut loose from society's norms, from society's dogmas and the brainwashing we partaken in for so long. I stopped watching television for maybe 5-6 years ago now. I don't watch the news. I'm being updated, obviously, but some other sources, but not the traditional ones. I realized that they're just there for propaganda and to brainwash me into their way of thinking. That's what their purpose is. They're not there for do me any good. They have no interest in any of us. That we don't have any of our best interests. Let's put it that way. So you cut loose. You want to be more free, I think. What I also noticed is that you will be more. You want to be, for me example, I want to be more free in the sense that I want less objects, because the more things we have, the more materialistic things, the more it has to be taken care of, and it just occupies our time. And I want to be a free man who can do whatever I think this is what I want to have said with what a higher consciousness is. So to wrap this video up, I want to ask you to ask yourself those questions. What is it in your life that you're not very happy with? What is it that you, if you would know the true nature of it, what it really does to you, would you stop doing it? Or would you at least mild it down to not do it as much? Ask yourself that. What is it that you do that you shouldn't be doing but you still do it? Are you aware of what you can do, like to prevent it from causing damage? Or do you just let it be? Because I also know that when we are aware of things, we can only keep doing it for so long. It will automatically come to a point where we can't do it anymore, because then it's gonna come to a point where it feels very strange and it's just we're gonna have to stop now, like naturally. But yeah, to summarize this, like a higher consciousness is always something we should strive for. To be aware of certain things that we're doing in our life. Things that can harm us, like physically, but also mentally, and the people around us. As long as we know what we're doing, and as long as we can like lower the risks, like lower the consequences, also something very good that we should take advantage of. I really think a lot of people's lives will improve a lot if they at least were aware of things that they are doing, like on a daily basis with a lot of stuff. That's what I think. These videos are very important. So many other videos on YouTube, especially like that. If I go to myself, that's what's saved my life. That the what people talk about their own experience, what they have been through, what they have done, and what they have done to like overcome it. That's why I think it's so important that we can have this type of information available. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video and got some valuable information out of this. Yeah, we'll talk soon again. Have a great week.